In case you missed it yesterday, the Phoenix Suns held the introductory press conference for Miles Bridges. It was just two people. It was just two people at the table. It was Brian Gregory and it was Miles Bridges. And they answered questions for about 30 minutes, which was really good to see that the Suns didn't try and rush all the questions. They made sure to make the time to make sure that everyone was able to ask questions. Everyone was able to everyone was able to um kind of pick apart this Suns move and ask Brian Gregory and Miles Bridges about it. And so if you don't know the Miles Bridges story and situation, Miles Bridges uh was accused of domestic violence on his wife, and it was also in the presence of his children with his wife. Uh, I believe in 2022, 2023, and he was suspended from the NBA. He uh, didn't play for an entire season, pled no contest in court, and sought counseling, sought treatment, um, returned to play for the Charlotte Hornets on a qualifying offer the next season. And so just a bad situation, a situation that's going to stick with Miles Bridges for the rest of his life. Uh Situation that if you're a Suns fan and you feel kind of gross cheering for Miles Bridges on your team, I can't blame you at all. At all, because this is serious stuff, and it's important to it's important in sports that we hold uh these athletes to a high standard, a high level of conduct, because they're public figures and because they're representatives of our communities. It's not just that they make a lot of money, but it's that they represent our community uh, in everyday life. And so the Suns trading and bringing in Miles Bridges into the organization, into the community, uh, it isn't a great look. Honestly, it isn't a great look, and it's definitely a gamble. It's a gamble that it's a gamble uh, that this organization is making, that Miles Bridges is not going to continue to have any off court issues. And if he does, it's going to be a really bad look on this Suns ownership group. And it's going to be a really bad look for this team. And it's going to be a maybe even it could possibly turn out even worse than the Kevin Durant trade turned out for Matt Ishbia. It's a huge risk because of who Miles Bridges has been in the past and what he could do in the future. And the good news about this press conference is that they answered it. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love all the answers. Um, I wish Miles Bridges had been more specific about how he had improved and what he has done in the community specifically, and how he has made amends with the situation. There was he A lot of times he said, "I'm excited to be here. I'm prioritizing being a better man every day, mainly off the court and on the court. I know me coming in I know me coming to a new community that really don't know me like that." Um, he says it's mixed feelings about me being here. Obviously, I'm committed to the community. I'm comfortable with where I'm at right now. I know I'm a good person. Like, these are some of the quotes from the press conference. And I really want, and he said that he helped with charitable organizations uh, in Charlotte and was always in the community trying to do right in the community. But he never, uh, it wasn't as specific as I wanted it to be. I didn't, I felt like he was remorseful for what he had done. I feel like he knows he has to be better, but he just said the same thing over and over and over again. Um, which it's a press conference, you kind of have to do that. But I would have loved to have seen a little bit more specifics from him, specifically in how he's improved as a person. Like how he kept saying, I'm trying to be the best person I can be off the court. Well, how? How, Miles? Like, I feel like we didn't really hear the how. I feel like we didn't hear the how. That's what was missing was how. He says what he's gonna do. He says why he's gonna do it. He says he says who he's gonna work with, but I just want to know the how with this. And so but overall I was encouraged that they did not run from the questions. There were some tough questions asked. The Suns media that were in that room, they asked the right questions. I don't think there were any hard-hitting questions that were left unsaid. Everyone was specific and poignant. And it was a tiny small step in the right direction for Suns fans kind of feeling betrayed by the organization for doing this. Now, let's look at Brian Gregory's quotes and what he's promised the Suns community and what he said about Miles Bridges specifically. And I thought this was the most interesting quote from the entire press conference. Miles has taken responsibility for his action. He's shown remorse for those actions. He's grown through counseling and has continued and is continually doing things on a daily basis for his personal growth. He has also made a commitment to become the best man and the best father that he can be. I have no question at all that he understands the responsibility of what our organization's expectations and values are. We will hold him accountable to the same high standards of everybody that is part of the Phoenix Suns organization. There will be no wavering on that. Trust is earned, not given. Miles understands he has to earn trust. We conducted a thorough evaluation of where we looked at the seriousness of that. Miles understands ultimately he's going to be judged by his daily conduct moving forward. We talked to everyone. So it's it's a it's a strong it's a strong message that Brian Gregory is sending. He's saying we're going to hold Miles accountable and he's not going to be a bad representative of the community. And I hope that that's true. I really hope that Miles Bridges is a pillar in the community. I hope that he goes on to be one of the greatest Suns players in the organization's history. I hope he uh, can do what he said and help Devin Booker get a championship ring that he so much deserves. I hope that he's able to do all of that, but first Miles is going to have to show through his off the court behavior. He's going to have to stay far, far away from any more allegations. And there was one recently in the last month where he and his ex-wife filed complaints against each other, and um and we're gonna have the circus with Miles Bridges has to end when he's in a Phoenix Suns uniform. There can be honestly zero tolerance because the Suns have said that they have a zero tolerance policy. There was one quote from Miles Bridges that I thought stood out to me. He said, "I've been at rock bottom before and I've had to work my way back up. I've learned to be committed to being I've learned to be committed to one thing, being great off the court and being great on the court. I want to prove the Suns right." So I hope Miles Bridges proves the Suns right. And Miles Bridges, this is a guy who has been coached by Brian Gregory before. Brian Gregory was an assistant coach at Michigan State when Miles Bridges played for the Spartans back in 2016 and 2017. So Brian Gregory, this is a guy who's known Miles Bridges for a long time. He said that they did the homework on Bridges. He said that they talked to everyone. in the Charlotte's organization, talked to the people around him, talked to his old high school and AAU coaches, obviously talked to Tom Izzo, I'm sure, about this move. And so they try to talk to as many people as possible. I believe that they did that. And Brian Gregory, I bel I trust Brian Gregory so far. So if he's betting on Miles Bridges being a great Phoenix Suns, I'm going to go ahead and give Brian Gregory the benefit of the doubt that they did all of those things, and that because he knows Bridges and because he's familiar with uh, who he is and the entire situation, that he'll be able to that he made the right choice here. Because if the Suns made the wrong choice here, it is going to be detrimental to the franchise on the court and off the court. It's going to burn bridges with lots of fans, and it already has. It already has, and they're going to have to answer for it if things go sideways. And it probably, this is a type of move that will leave a stain, not just it will leave a stain on Matt Ishbia, it will leave a stain on Brian Gregory, and it will leave a stain on the organization. If they traded a lot of value for this guy and he doesn't hold up his end of the bargain, and he doesn't prove the Suns right. Now, there was another part to the press conference, which was the basketball fit on the court. And this is what Brian Gregory said about that. He's a perfect fit for how we play as a team: grit, toughness, energy, a unique skill set on our roster. He fits, he fills a need, he has physicality and versatility. Most important thing with Bridges was that he was a culture fit. He has a daily work ethic. He told a story about how when he was in summer league, Miles was looking for a new place of residence in Arizona and wanted to get a late night workout on a Saturday night. He believes that Miles Bridges is a good spot up 3-point shooter. And uh here's what Miles said about fitting. He said that he was able to hang out with the guys at summer league and feels like he's a good fit. He said, "I've always been a fan of Book, probably one of the most underrated players in the league. If anyone deserves it, I think Book deserves a ring." He says he's a willing passer. He still hasn't been to the playoffs. Um, and so his on the court fit, I am pretty excited about now. Does he perfectly fit with Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and Devin Booker? No, I think that's a lot of shots. Maybe not the most efficient scoring guys, but I do believe that they I believe that they think Devin Booker and Miles Bridges are going to be two really good playmakers on this roster. I think that they believe that Miles Bridges is going to show a lot of connectivity, an ability to play make, an ability to get to the rim and finish and create for others and create easier shots for Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green. I also think that they are going to be able to figure it out with Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green and get Dylan Brooks to be okay doing less and get Jalen Green to be okay doing less, and um to being more strategic and less inefficient scores going forward, whether that's taking better shots. I believe that the Suns think that that's going to happen. Do I think that's going to happen? No, not necessarily. I do think that this is going to be an extremely athletic team, a good defensive team. I think Bridges is going to up his level of play on the defensive end of the floor because of Jordan Knott and because of the system that he's going to be in. He has continuity playing with Mark Williams, and it sounded like according to Bridges, that Mark Williams was really excited for Miles to be in Phoenix, and that's a good sign. And from the jump, I've never thought that Miles Bridges was going to have a problem fitting into the Suns locker room. I think he does have a lot of characteristics as a basketball player that the Suns want. Uh, being a good rebounder, a guy who plays hard, a guy who works relentlessly. Those three things are what the Suns look for in a basketball player. And so I think that he's going to be a good cultural fit. He's willing to get in to get in scrums on the floor too. He's not ever going to back down. We've seen him in a few altercations throughout the course of his career. So, as a basketball character, culture fit, I think Miles Bridges is what the Suns were looking for and what they need. It's really the off court stuff that they need to salvage. They need to show that it's all past. And so, I'm excited about the basketball fit of Miles Bridges. I'm not excited for him actually putting on a Suns uniform and for what that'll mean and what it kind of signals to everyone that this organization is willing to overlook situations like Bridges to get a few more wins. And is it worth it? I mean, we're going to find out real quick. And giving up that 2023 lottery pick, hopefully it's worth it for the Suns um, because it's a very valuable pick. And this is what Gregory said about trading the unprotected 2033 pick. He said, "We feel very comfortable with all aspects of the trade." Gregory did flex that the Suns will have a first round pick 7 years in a row. He cited changes in the draft lottery that changed the value of picks, and so uh, that was my initial reaction the day that the trade went down was that the Suns think that first round picks are going to be a whole lot less valuable with the new lottery system, and that they believe that as long as they're trying to win, they'll be able to field a team that's competitive enough to stay outside of the lottery most years, like they were able to this year. Now, that's a long time, and Devin Booker is going to be really old in 2033, and they're going to need a new superstar player to be able to carry them to a playoff level of play. And it's really hard to find those guys or trade for those guys if you don't have your own picks and if you don't draft guys high in the draft. And so the fact that the Suns don't have much pick control, or at least won't have don't have the ability to get into the lottery very easily over the next 7 years is something that is scary as a fan, because they're betting that over the next 7 years they're not going to be in the lottery, which we're gonna find out really quickly uh how true that is. And so I think overall, like I said before, the Miles Bridges situation, I would have rather just kept Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen and kept the 2033 first and tried to trade for someone else other than Miles Bridges, but and that's because of the off court stuff. But on the court, I think this team got better this offseason with Bridges. And if Brian Gregory is right that Bridges can be a good spot up 3-point shooter, and he is going to be a good playmaker, and he is going to play hard on defense, I think it's a great basketball fit for what the Suns are looking for. And going forward, this is going to be the legacy of Brian Gregory. Like, if one trade defines Brian Gregory as a GM, it's going to be this trade because of everything involved with trading an unprotected pick, trading for a guy who has domestic violent um, issues in his past, trading for a guy who has never been to the playoffs, and hoping that this guy is the one that can push Phoenix into upper playoff level uh, contention. It's a pretty big gamble on a guy that has all of these issues and that really hasn't proven himself as a playoff level player so far in his career. So it's mixed feelings about Miles Bridges being here, and we're it's gonna be a story for a long, long time. And so hopefully the circus around Bridges can go away. And it was good that he got up in front of a microphone and didn't shy away from any questions. Could he have done better? Yes. Do I hope that the Suns bet right on this guy? I absolutely do. And I hope that he goes out there and proves all of us wrong. He's a spectacular person in the community. He becomes a spectacular husband and father to his kids, and moving forward, I hope he is I hope he is what he says he is, which is a great person on and off the floor. And if he does that, this will be a great trade in Phoenix Suns history. And if not, it's going to be an absolute disaster.